האמרת היום, והוי האמירך היום. What exactly is the taich of Hamarta and Hamircha? The Maimer is going to go into it in a few soon, and going to explain different explanations in these words. So, it's explained concerning this in Bilkutei Torah, B'siyum Hadrush, in Bilkutei Torah, at the conclusion of the Maimer, B'Oira Torah, B'Drusha, Admor Marash, B'Aschos Hadrush, and Oira Torah, the Tzemach Tzedek, and the Mamorim of the Rebbe Marash. It's explained at the beginning of the Maimer. It's very interesting that the Rebbe points out this distinction of where they explain the word Hamarta is at the beginning of the Maimer, the end of the Maimer. Shemarta Uloshen Amira. Hamarta is from the word saying, and we had this also in the previous Maimer from the Dvar Malchus. Vesavaya Hamarta hu poyal yoytze. And the meaning of Hamarta is in Hebrew grammar, it's called poyal yoytze. Loimar, this means hifaltas Hashem sheyoymar. You caused that Hashem should say. That's what the Hamarta is. The koyal asar amar shebetoyra shebehem divrei olam is referring to the 10 utterances in the Torah that with them the world was created. So how does a Yid make Hashem speak the Asarim Amaris? And what does it mean that he makes him speak the Asarim Amaris? Asarim Amaris were spoken thousands of years ago. So he says, first of all, Shekshurim, Maser Sadibris, the Asarim Amaris are connected with the Aser Sadibris. Gedis Bezoyer Hoover, Bukins Hamayin Al Pasik Asar Asar Hakaf Shekel HaKodesh, like it's brought, like it says in Zohar, as brought down Kunzus Hamayin of the Rebbe Rashab on the Pasik that says 10 was the spoon and the holy shekel. There was 10 shekel each in each spoon. But the idea of Asara Hakaf, that Asara Hamamoris Mechuvonim Keneged Aseres Hadibris Ushneim B'Shekel HaKodesh, that the 10 Mamoris are corresponding to the 10 commandments, and this means that it's the Shekel HaKodesh. They are like both of them, the level of holiness, both the Asar Amor, even the Asar Amoris, not just Asar Sadibris, have like this equal level or almost corresponding level of holiness. Shekel could also be from the word mishkal and kaf, like the word escapes me. The plates of the scales. So the kaf of the scale on one side, and there's the kaf of the scale on the other side, and they balance each other out. So he's saying, what's the connection now? Based on this idea, we can understand how we are making Hashem speak the Asarim Amaris. He says in line 13, that now at present it again returns and again becomes renewed, the saying of the Asarim Amaris in the creation of the world. How? That's we are making it, like we said. Through the fact that Yidden are sitting and learning Torah. And he's going to explain this further. So in other words, we are making Hashem say Asar Amaris constantly. There was the first time, true. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But ever since then, Hashem is constantly repeating and constantly saying the Asar Amaris. And when we learn Torah, which is the Aseres Hadibris, that correspond to the Asar Amaris, we make Hashem say the Asar Amaris all over again. How does that happen? He says, Chazal say, Kol Talmud Chacham shekoyda v'shoyna HaKadosh Baruch Hu koyda v'shoyna kenegdo. Any Talmud Chacham that reads from Torah Shebiksav or reviews or repeats Torah Shebal Peh. So Hashem is sitting across him and also reading from Torah Shebiksav and learning Torah Shebal Peh. When Hashem is learning Torah, so then Chayzer Mischadish Ha'inyan the Kutshabrichu is tackle by Raisa Bara Alma. So now it again happens, and it's renewed what it says that Hashem looked into the world and looked into the Torah and created the world. So that's the process of how we make Hashem say the Asar Amaris again. By us learning Torah, we cause Hashem to learn Torah. When Hashem learns Torah, he looks into the Torah, and by looking into the Torah, he recreates the world again. So that is Ha'amircha. We are making you, Hashem, say the Asara Amaris. Now the connection with Rosh Hashanah is obvious. The date of the creation of the world. This is connected with the Rosh Hashanah. Where it says that Havaya you made speak today is going on Rosh Hashanah, because where it says today we had this already in one of our previous Mamorim, maybe it was in the previous Maimer, 2 Mamorim back, that the Rebbe spoke, that brought from the Alter Rebbe, I think it was, that wherever it says in the Torah Hayom, it's going on Rosh Hashanah, similar to Atam Nitzavim Hayom. Shaboy, in the day of Rosh Hashanah, Hoya HaMaimer Nasa Adam, was the Maimer, the statement and the utterance, let us make Adam. So why does it have to do with all the Asar Amaris? There was just that Maimer, there was the Maimer of Nasa Adam. It wasn't just that Maimer, but Al Kaponim, it's not all the Asar Amaris. So the Rebbe says the Adam includes an entire world. In addition to the fact that Adam, every person is a miniature world, so in such a way we could say that by Nasa Adam, it already includes and it renews all the Asar Amaris. So in addition to that, top of page Vav, the person is the conclusion and the perfecting and the crowning part of the entire creation. So therefore, it's appropriate that on the day when Hashem uttered the into being, the one who is the culmination of the entire creation, so we should mark it with Havaya Marta. Concerning this, it says that you made Havaya speak today, like we explained before. He felt as Hashem leimer maimer nasa Adam, that you made Hashem to say the utterance of let us make man. Now the truth is, it's not just limited to that, but that's like the goal, that's the purpose, that's the ultimate, that's the perfection of creation. And in a similar vein, all the other utterances were done through our learning Torah and so on. In the first time around, at the beginning of creation, how was the 10 utterances made to be said? This wasn't through us. We weren't around then. But it was Hashem himself, because Hashem desires kindness. And now, by inspiration down here below, the matter is dependent. In other words, we have to cause that Hashem should say the Asarim Amoris. And how do we do that? What is our Yisrus Dolasata? What is our inspiration down here below that causes Hashem to say the Asarim Amoris? Through being involved in Torah, like we said before, Asar Kaf. Through the Asar Sadibris, we get to Asar Amaris. Through being involved in Torah, we cause Hashem to speak the Asar Amaris. So that's the first part. It says Havaya Hamarta Hayom, and then it says the second part about what Hashem does to us. What does Hashem make us speak? Vavaya Mirchayom. So it says is a line 9. Afterwards it says Nema Vavaya Mirchayom, Hashem made you speak. What does that mean? Shul Inyan Isarusa Dola Ela Shalamaylam Isarusa Dola Ela Shanimsheches Aidei Isarusa Dola Satam. That's an inspiration from above. That's beyond the inspiration of above that comes about through the inspiration down here below. That the inspiration down here below does not reach over there. There's 2 levels of an inspiration from above. There's really 3 levels, but here we're talking about 2 levels. One is a quid pro quo. We do, and we automatically draw down from above. Then there's a level of Yisrus Elam that's beyond what we are doing. That Yisrus Elam is something that comes after and above and beyond, like a bonus, beyond anything that we could reach, because it's a level that's higher than anything we could reach. Yet, it follows on the heels of what we did, even though it's not directly evoked and drawn down through what we did. So he says the end of line 12, still in all, even though it's such a high level of inspiration from above, that our inspiration down here below cannot reach it, still in all, the Havaya Mircha, that's beyond what we do, is only after we did whatever we could in drawing down Hashem's Asar Amaris. How come? Why is this Isrus Le'ela that is not reachable by our avoid? Why does it come down only after we did our avoid? Because this higher level of Isrus Le'ela, this inspiration from above that's beyond the inspiration down here below, does not rest and become revealed only when there is a completion, a perfection in the actions of those down here below, because Hashem does not reside only in a complete and perfect place. We know there's a halacha, whatever, let's say, vessel that's used for a matter of kedusha, kiddush cup, klisharis in the Beis Hamikdash, even the mizbeach, can't be chipped, can't be missing a part, and so on. It has to be b'shleimus. This indicates and symbolizes and is an expression of the fact that kedusha only resides in a complete and perfect place. So when we do as much as we can to draw down a Yisrusa de La'ela that is shayich to our avodah, that is something that we can reach, so then in connection with that, or in continuation of that, so Hashem will bring down His Yisrus D'La'ela, which is beyond anything that we could draw down, because the place is inviting, because the place is complete and perfect. So that's the Havaya Marta and Havaya, as Havaya Marta Hayom and Havaya Hamircha. So Havaya Marta Hayom is what we do, make Hashem do, and the Asar Amaris through our learning Torah. And then there is a level of a higher revelation than that, something that we are not able to touch, not something we're not able to reach. That's the Havaya Hamircha Hayom. That is one explanation in the meaning of the word Hamarta. Now we're going to go on to two others. Ois Beis, line 17. In addition to the explanation that we mentioned before, that Hamarta is in the word saying and speaking. It's explained in the Bambarim we mentioned before of the Alter Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, the Marash, that in the word Hamarta, in this context, there are three explanations. Maybe it's just in the Mamarim, the Tzemach Tzedek, and the Marash. I'm not sure if it's also in Kudei Torah. So he says, V'yesh loymar, he says in the brackets, Shenir mezgam Kudei Torah. I'm right. The Kudei Torah doesn't explicitly say it, but he's meramez it in what it says, Shemevi shloishes einyanim de l'sihila l'shem l'sifaris. Afterwards, when it says about Hashem Amir Chayim, there's a whole long pasuk, and he makes you Elyon al Kol Hagoyim, Asher Asa L'Tilav L'Shem L'Siferes. Those three words, L'Sila L'Shem L'Siferes, the Rebbe says, could be corresponding to the three meanings of Amira, that, or Havaya Marta, Hashem Amircha, that we're going to speak about from the Tzemach Tzedek and the Marash. The Kulam, and all these three explanations, Shayachim the Rosh Hashanah, are connected with Rosh Hashanah. The first meaning in the word Hamarta is in the word importance, value, praiseworthiness. Like it's brought down in the Gemara Barachas, but Pirish HaKosas Havaya Hamarta Havaya Hamircha. In explaining the meaning of this pasuk, the Gemara says, Tava page Zayim, Amr lemakadosh baruch hu Yisrael, Atem asisuni chativa achas ba'olam. You made for me a unique part, and you made me distinct in the world. You made me different and completely other than everything else. Like Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, we're saying that He's one, nothing like Him. And in a similar vein, that's Havai Hamarta. In a similar vein, Vani Eschem Chativa Achas Boilam. And I also will make you unique. Like it says, Mi Kamcha Yisrael Ba'echad Ba'aretz. Also, you are unique and distinct and different and praised. Pirish Rashi and Rashi's explanation of it in the Gemara, that the word Hamarta is from the word importance and praiseworthiness. What does it mean that all the poili oven, all the evildoers will be yisamru yishtabchu? They will praise themselves. They will feel like they're getting away with things. So Rashi explains the same thing. What does it mean, chativa achas? That you are unique. That means one praise and a unique praise to say, ein kamoicha, there's no one like you. We're saying that all the three pirushim in Hamarta and Amircha have to do with Rosh Hashanah. So we already explained Dibur because that's our Amar, the creation of the world. The idea of Shevach is to be found in Rosh Hashanah. Chazal say, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem said, Imru, very interesting diuk, Imru lefanai beRosh Hashanah Malchus. The simple title is, say before me psukim Malchus. Why? So you should make me a king over you, and that's why we say in the Musaf of Rosh Hashanah, we say 10 psukim of Malchus, 4 from Torah, 3 from Nevi'im, 3 from Ksuvim. But the Rebbe says the word Imru is the same word like Marta and Hamircha. She'imru gam ken lashon shavach. The word Imru is also from the word praise, that we are praising by saying these psukim of Malchus. Hashem wants us to praise and express His Malchus in these words of praise, showing Hashem's uniqueness and so on. So that's one of the Pirushim in Hamarta and its connection with Rosh Hashanah. Another explanation, the second explanation, Hamarta is from the word and the meaning of a garment. Like it says in the Medrash on the Pasuk, Bitza emrasoi, it means that he fulfilled, he was mivatzeya, like mivtza, he brought into operation what he said. But the Chazal play on the word bitza, and they connected with the word biza, which means tearing. Purpurisa means his garment. Bitza embrosoi means he tore his garment. Levush delay. Purpira, his garment. So we see that bitza we see from this that embrosoi could also mean a garment. So that's Havai Hamarta, Havai Hamircha. What's it mean? The Inyan Zeh Shaykh LeRosh Hashanah. This is connected with the Rosh Hashanah, also the idea of garment. Sheboy Amar Adam L'Rishon L'Chol Nevroim HaRosh Hashanah. Adam L'Rishon said to all the creations, Boy Nishtach V'Nechrad Nivrchol Fnei Havai Eseinu. Come, let's bow down and prostrate ourselves and let's kneel before Hashem, our Maker. And he affected what it says over there in that pasuk in the Shir Shal Yom of Friday, which was the day of the creation of Adam Rishon, that Hashem reigned. He garbs himself in importance, etc. So we see that kingship, which is associated with Rosh Hashanah, is called a lavush, a garment. Since the neshama of Adam Rishon is a general soul that includes all the souls of Yidden in Alderach, that's our Cholechad Misrael, Lifel B'Rosh Hashanah Inyan Davaya Molches Lovich. Just like Adam Rishon did then, every single Yid has to affect on Rosh Hashanah the idea that Hashem should have been reigned as a king through dressing himself in the garments of height and elevation. How is that? Through us making Hashem, through fulfilling what Hashem asked, make me a king over you. Pirish Hashlishi, the third explanation is like we mentioned earlier in the Maimer, Shemarta Malashna Mirva Dibur Hamartas, from the word saying and speech, like we mentioned before. The noise of Lazem, addition to this, Yeshnam Kol Shloisha Perushim Aniskarim La'el Gam Be'inin Da'avaya Mircha Shu'ina Yisrusto La'el Kaniskar La'el. In addition to the Avaya Marta, Hayom, that we are the ones that make Hashem speak, that's our Amoris, and we are the ones that are Mishabeach Hashem and making him praiseworthy, and we are the ones that make him dress in the garment of Melucha. There's also the next thing, the Havaya Hamircha, that Hashem has this level of the Amir of a Dibur to us, has the level of the levush, the garment to us, and has this idea of the praiseworthiness and the uniqueness to us. And the Rebbe is going to elaborate where we see this in the three Pirushim. Ois Gimel, line 25. The idea behind this is the idea of saying, which Hamarta is in the word saying and speaking, that's connected with the 10 utterances and the Aser Sadibris. Koi al darges al lekus kefi sheba be'ofen shal ischalkus leprotim. This is referring to the level of godliness that comes down the way that it breaks down and comes down into details. Until the ultimate level in this, shehi b'mispar eser, top of page Ches, that the details comes to the full gamut, which the Shu Shleimus HaMispar, 10, is the perfect number. That's why the perfection, completion of all matters is the number 10. Specifically 10 spheres, like it says in Sefer Yetzirah, Eser V'lei Teisha, Eser V'lei Echad Eser, 10 and not 9, 10 and not 11. So to 10 expressions of praise and song that Dvar Malchus said in Tehillim. Similar to that, we find throughout Torah the perfection of the number 10, which means we're talking here about his chalkus as it comes out in the most perfect way. So what's the significance of number 10? Why is the number 10 the most perfect and shows us something complete? So he says in line 5, Pardas, like it's brought down in Pardas, Shekol Davar Ubal Sholosh Koitrim, that every matter has in it, it would be three, maybe dimensions would be the best way to translate it, even though modern Hebrew it's a little bit different, diameter. Oirach, Roicha V'oimek, everything has in it length, has the length of the matter, has the breadth of the matter, has the depth of the matter, or the length, width, and depth. Each one of these three, the Oirach, Roicha V'oimek, also includes three. Roish, Toich, B'sof, there is the beginning, the middle, and the end of each one of these three. So that's 3 times 3, that's 9. Along with the place that they are connected with, the thing that's being measured by these things. So you have altogether 10. Hareza Mispar Eser, it's 10. And the expression of philosophers is there's 9 mikrim. The best translation I can find for this is like variables, and there's the essence, because the length, the width, the height, etc., all these things are variations and variables. Things have different heights and lengths and width, and then there is the thing itself that they are having. So this is the point that he's going to bring out, that everything, its perfection is when you have it in the number 10. So the same way, when you talk about Elikus coming down into Ischalkus, it's coming down to Ischalkus of a perfect, complete Ischalkus, which is signified by coming down in the Asara Mamar Shebehem Divra Oil.